Hey there, Donovan Hilton, co-owner of Hilton Elite Marketing Agency, a full-service sales and marketing firm providing recruiting, retention, and community relations services to employers, workforce development organizations, nonprofits, business chambers, and government agencies. Currently in Nashville, Tennessee, but the objective for where I'm going is definitely global. And wanted to talk to you for a few seconds about change and why change is something that we all have to embrace and all have to stay ahead of if we're going to not only survive but thrive. In biology, if you want to get the macro and the micro of life, change is something that is inevitable. I believe outside of passing away, with all due respect, change is the only thing that is for certain. And if we are, as individuals, are not consistently learning and growing and getting an understanding of the process of change and how change affects every systematic way of life for us, then we're going to put ourselves in a position where emotionally we're going to be detrimental to ourselves, and through that negative or detrimental emotions, we're going to end up making actions that really are going to stagnate us and maybe stagnate our loved ones. I'm saying that because, like I said, because I am in the business of ultimately marketing, communications, and business development, I have a passion and a knack for wanting to get out into the community, to engage the community, to bridge the gaps within the community, and which requires me to do a lot of research on society, societal processes, a lot of history, as well as a lot of research on current, past, and future trends that are happening. And I feel that because I want to move in this direction and ultimately end up playing the game of international relations. If you don't know what that is, I challenge you to look it up. It requires me to not only understand the environment, as well. It requires me to understand human development as well as the environment, in so many words. And so what I'm getting to is, as I look at things constantly changing, as I'm in the business of transforming lower income or developing communities, which include my diverse brothers and sisters, as we go through these processes of change, we have to make sure that we are staying ahead of change in order to ensure the thriving. And I know I said that, but I can't stress that enough. And if individuals are not acceptable to change, then as an individual yourself, you may have to disassociate, or you may have to keep pushing forward for the greater good. And I'm going to give you an example before I get out of here of, I could be wrong, but I'm going to say the caterpillar or the butterfly effect. And what I mean by that is, you have a caterpillar, and within the caterpillar you have living organisms producing and functioning as a caterpillar is supposed to. But eventually the caterpillar is going to go into the cocoon. And while the caterpillar is in the cocoon, the caterpillar, in whatever transformational way of life, decides to say, I'm going to become a butterfly. And we know that because caterpillars turn into butterflies. And as the caterpillar is deciding to become a butterfly, there are living organisms that are created within the caterpillar that are now organisms that are butterflies. And so what I mean by that is you have organisms now growing within the caterpillar that are creating wings, organisms within the caterpillar that are growing antennas, and all the functions of a caterpillar, while at the same time you have the living organisms within the caterpillar that make up the caterpillar. And while the butterfly organisms are growing and developing, the caterpillar organisms are saying, what's going on? Wait a minute, no, we're not having this. And the butterfly organisms are saying, we're going to do this. This is where we're going. And my point is, both organisms are warring, because you have organisms, with all due respect, that are traditional and what made the caterpillar great, wanting to stay a caterpillar. But if nature, which is a higher calling of the organism, calls and says, for whatever reason, this is where we're going, we have to be wise enough to not almost accept it. And we pray that all things in nature are designed to make us better. But the bottom line is, as you notice, the caterpillar eventually comes out of the cocoon, a butterfly. And unfortunately, there was a war that had to go on within the cocoon and within the caterpillar. And some organisms that were caterpillar-minded had to be let go for the butterfly, what we see that's so beautiful. And fun fact, come to find out if you don't know, butterflies eat feces, ends up becoming, a butterfly. And so I say that to say, when we're talking about even the job market, do you know the trends? Do you understand that what happened yesterday or what's happening today is not going to remain? Things are constantly changing with technology coming in, as well as globalization in regards to more communication and access abroad, and more of these developing countries now getting access to resources. We all have to become more competitive. And to think that things are going to fall into our laps, we're already setting ourselves up for limitations. I'm not saying this out of fear. I'm saying this to help you understand that this is the process of life. And you can either be someone that's going to stay ahead of the game, or you could be someone that's going to complain, and unfortunately, the world will move on. And this is a lesson that I'm learning, and it's a lesson that I'm sharing with you. Nothing's happening, nothing's bad's happening, or something's going on with Donovan, what's going on, nothing of that nature. But I want you to understand that change is something that is just as inevitable at this point as passing away. And if we're not ahead of this change by first understanding our skills, by first understanding our values, and by understanding our environment and how our environment is constantly changing. And right now we live in a capitalistic environment. And so therefore you have to understand what is the job market looking like? What is the money market looking like? What is the home ownership market looking like? And the various fossils of functions that we toil with as human beings looking like? Because if you're not looking at those things and expecting that things will be the way they are, you're already setting yourself up for challenges, and we don't want that. We're focused on solutions. We're focused on hope. And the way we deliver hope is by staying ahead and making sure that we're constantly researching and constantly developing. That's why some of the top companies or corporations in the world, they have a strong research and development team. Without your research and development team, any plan you put together is not going to be sustainable. And so I hope this message was a good fit for you. There should be a link to a Cash App here. If you feel like this information was worth anything to you of value, please click that Cash App and donate, as I am a self-employed, self-sustaining business owner working my way to move from the S category, which is self-employed, to the B category, which is a business owner overseeing operations and overseeing a full-time staff, to eventually an I category, which is an investor, putting my money out there to work for me on a larger scale to help improve lower income, maybe bad choice of words, communities. Donovan Hilton, CEO of Hilton Elite Marketing Agency, thanking you in advance for doing what you have to do to push yourself to the limit to be able to rest in the future because you did a job well done, and also walking in the best of life for humanity. Remember, we're more than just marketing.